AI just took another job. Oh, there goes another one and another one. Listen, people are all scrambling to learn AI, but what if the smartest move right now isn't to become more like a robot, but to double down on being more deeply human? Just reskill in AI then. The problem here is that the jump from being a typical knowledge worker to now fluency in robot language is not a small upgrade. It's like going from riding a bike to now piloting a plane. And even if you do learn AI, the reality is AI teams are shrinking. Companies are realizing they don't need a massive army of engineers or data scientists, just a handful of elite ones. The people building AI are getting replaced by AI. Even the godfather of AI, Geoffrey Hinton, recommends being a plumber in face of this AI revolution. But what if we don't want to be a plumber? Enter coaching. And by the way, I have a free 5-day email series on how to build your coaching educator side hustle business online. Just comment, send me the plan, and I'll send it your way. Quick preface before we dive in, this video is based on what we currently know about AI from public data, real-world trends, and emerging forecasts. It is most relevant for the next 5 to 10 years, maybe a little longer, depending on how things evolve with AI. But here's what we can be certain about. Jobs that rely on deeper human connection, emotional nuance, and can't be easily automated, like coaching, are far more likely to stick around longer compared to traditional office roles. And listen, I am no AI expert, but even top AI CEOs and scientists have shared they have no idea what the longer term vision is going to look like with AI. Nobody is fully certain. It all really depends on government intervention and how these companies are competing. But I can share with you why coaching and being in this educational space is one of the most valuable and human careers to step into today. And listen, I have never in a million years dreamed that I would be a coach because I never thought I had what it took. But after experiencing both transformative and disappointing coaching, what I've realized is it really just takes a heart, a commitment to serving, and truly believing that everything you've got right now inside of you is enough to help someone else. First, let's do a quick history 101. Education and growth has always been in humans' DNA. It's an innate biological trait. Humans have just always been obsessed with getting better, faster, and stronger. Just like all of the inventions we have crafted over the centuries, from cave drawings to iPhones and now AI. Even when we think we just want to chill out and watch Netflix, studies have actually shown that we feel so much more fulfilled when we are learning or when we are doing something meaningful. This book, called Flow by Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, nailed the pronunciation. This book is such a great read, and he has gone into deep, extensive research. He's dedicated his whole life into learning about flow science. And he says that the best moments usually occur when a person's body or mind is stretched to its limits in a voluntary effort to accomplish something difficult and worthwhile. Optimal experience is thus something that we make happen. And that's why the online education industry is booming. In fact, the online coaching market is projected to reach nearly $11.7 billion by 2032 with a compound annual growth rate of 14%. Online learning as a whole had exploded to $400 billion in 2022, with forecasts to hit $1 trillion by 2032. So yes, information is everywhere, but people still crave and they pay more for human connection, wisdom from lived experience, and transformation. AI can't replace that. Now, we already know about influencers and content creators, but the problem here with this space is that the income distribution is very skewed. It follows a long tail distribution, which means that most of the money goes towards the top 1 to 10% of the creators and influencers in this space, leaving most people with pretty much breadcrumbs, aka it is very unsustainable for a living. But the online coaching and education industry is a lot more promising. You have so much more control. You can charge high ticket sales from day one, even with 0 followers, because it is dependent on your skills and knowledge, your ability to help someone rather than hype and clout. Now let's talk about how AI works for a second. Each time you type your questions into ChatGPT, it pulls together and spits out information that already exists. In milliseconds, it scans public websites, blogs, databases, and spits out a response based on the past. It's just a faster version of Google. It's like a faster librarian. And you tell me, when has Google ever been able to coach you through a real life transformation? A human coach doesn't just give you information and hand you a map. They walk you through the fire hand in hand through implementation and actual growth. In the coaching world, great coaches aren't stagnant. They're not repeating what's worked in the past. They're always coming up with new ideas, experimenting, trying to say things differently. They're just doing their best to serve their clients. It requires creativity, deep thinking, presence, and emotional intelligence. Not just data recall, not just repackaged advice. We are not here to regurgitate information. We are here to reimagine. AI informs, coaches help transform, and people pay more for transformation. AI is also a generalist, which means it is very broad. It knows a little about a lot of different things, so it isn't able to specialize like how a human expert would be able to. So the opportunity here is to know a lot about a few things. That is where the money-making opportunity is. Go deep and narrow on a few subjects, form your opinions, reflections, your own frameworks, because AI isn't able to do that. Personally, I am constantly experimenting. I'm testing out new concepts from other industries. I'm thinking deeper about things. I'm fine-tuning my questions. And even if AI starts generating quote-unquote new ideas, it still lacks some fundamental things we're going to go over. First, AI lacks lived experiences, and with that, they also lose empathy and connection. As a coach, and even just a human being, my real lived experience, empathy, and connection is what helps my clients heal and transform, because I'm a living proof of what's possible. I want to share with you the 4-mile story. For decades, running a mile in under 4 minutes was seen as humanly impossible. Athletes and scientists just concluded that it was too much stress for our bodies to handle, hence why we could never achieve that milestone. But on May 6th, 1954, Robert Bannister broke that barrier. He ran a mile in 3 minutes and 59.4 seconds. But here's the powerful part. Just 46 days after this event, someone else broke that barrier. And then within the next year, several people had achieved the quote-unquote impossible. And today it is now a standard for elite male middle distance runners. And that just goes to show how humans can inspire and unlock possibility just by being living proof of what's possible. And this hits even harder when the person as living proof is someone who isn't wildly out of reach. So think about it. When your closest friends start YouTube, or when they hit the gym and they start transforming their body, suddenly you go, wait a minute. If they can do it, I can do it too. And it just starts to seem very possible for you in your reality. Sometimes it is so much more inspiring and activating to see someone who is just 2 to 3 steps ahead of you rather than a billionaire or a genius. One of my clients, Joseph, said he was so grateful that I was only a few steps ahead of him in terms of building our online YouTube business, because it makes our conversations feel real, accessible, and relevant. Another client, Rachel, told me I was able to unblock things for her that got her to take action that even the big name coaches couldn't. And that was because I just got her. And that's the magic of coaching. You don't have to be put on a pedestal as a famous expert. You just have to be honest, human, and willing to walk with someone. If I'm going through a breakup and I talk to ChatGPT, it can quickly, within seconds, spit out some lines of comfort, advice, maybe even give me a 10-step guide on how to get over it. But it can't look me in the eye and say, I get you. I've been there before. Whereas with my girlfriends, I can go over, have a chat with them, and then they can look me in the eye and say, girl, I know how it feels. I've been there and you're gonna be fine. And that understanding, that empathy and love can heal me way more compared to what AI can do. AI lacks lived experience. It can't share heartbreaks. It has never built a business from scratch, and it doesn't understand how it feels to fail and then get back up for the 100th time. It's not human, and as we have seen, that matters. In a world where everything is becoming digitized, people are now really craving human connection. I mean, post-COVID, people have been organizing in-person retreats, community meetups like run clubs where they run together every week. People want to attend music concerts and outdoor festivals instead of listening to music in their cars or homes. In fact, there's a growing trend for festivals, niche pop-ups, artist alleys, because we crave human connection so much. We want real, we want human, and only human coaching can provide us with that. AI can't. And even for me, I've been on the internet now for about 5 years, half a decade, and I'm craving these in-person communities. Fingers crossed, I would love to hold an in-person workshop or do some sort of retreat to meet you and serve you in person. I just think that's gonna be a fantastic, fun time. We're gonna manifest that. The last thing I wanna say is that AI cannot pick up on human intuition or instinct. So it can't pick up on your body language, facial expression, or that long pause you had. I have clients who show up to our call like, everything's good, I'm fine, but something's off. I feel that something is off. Maybe they've gone quiet on their social media. Maybe I can just feel their energy is a little dimmer. Whatever it is, sometimes I know them so much better than they know themselves in that moment. So I gently start asking the questions, I start peeling back the layers, and by the end of the call, they've had a breakthrough. Something clicks. And they walk away from that call knowing themselves, they have connected deeper with themselves in a way that strategy doesn't do. Now, AI, on the other hand, cannot do that for your clients because it doesn't have instincts to read the room and to read you. And for so long, we go back into centuries, our ancestors have relied on their instincts to decide whether this plant, this animal, or this human is safe to trust. And that's why sometimes we can easily tell when someone is radiating bad jujus, they're just giving off bad vibes, or when someone is showing some really good energy. So I'll give an example, but this morning I was on my usual morning walk in a nature path that was nearby my neighborhood, and I was walking when I felt like something was weird. My body started tensing, like it was sensing danger. I looked up, there was this small black bird that just flew across my head, really close by my head, a little too close for comfort. It was really odd, and it was making this weird chirping sound. It flew across to a tree. And I continued walking, and it flew to the next tree. It zigzagged across, and it was just flying over my head each time. And it was so weird because I was never afraid of birds flying around. So I walked backwards, and sure enough, that bird was following me back, zigzagging around the trees and chirping until I was far enough. That experience this morning was so weird. It was so scary, but it really reminded me that our bodies hold centuries of unwritten, unexplainable survival wisdom that AI could never have access to because it doesn't have a human body. It doesn't have that instinct and intuition. And I've also felt this before when I rented out my condo to my first tenant. When I first met him, his energy just felt so dark and off. My friend felt it as well, but we have been told so often to never judge a book, never judge a person by its cover, right? So I ignored my intuition, and guess what? Months later, this tenant was a nightmare tenant. He trashed my property, and that's when I realized I really should trust my intuition. I'll give a final example that might be a bit more relatable here, but let's say you want to do a business partnership with someone, or you are considering joining a company. Everything on paper makes sense. Logically, it looks good. The money is good. AI says go for it. But something feels off about the energy of the people. Something's just fishy. And that is the power of human intuition, the wisdom that we innately have. And so these are all the reasons why human-to-human communication, empathy, deep thinking skills, and creativity are all so important in this AI era. Now, I want to leave you with this. Your lived experience is your biggest asset. The failures, the challenges, the transformations you've experienced. It is something that no robot can mimic. And the best part is, in today's world, you can start coaching online without huge startup funds or a fancy degree. You just gotta start showing up. And if you have that within you right now, this is your sign to start showing up. And if you have no idea where to get started, I've got you. I have a free 5-day email series on building your part-time business just for you. It will help you with finding your unique edge, learning about how to monetize, how to get started coaching today, even with zero experience. So that's a wrap on today's video. If this video inspired you or gave you a little something to think about, make sure you hit that like button and you let me know in the comments section below your main takeaway. And remember, the world does not need more robots, it needs more of you. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.